Hello, welcome to Riverside Schools.
Yeah, learning is fun and practical.
Here we work with so many Montessori materials.
This is the geometry cabinet. It has 6 drawers with different shapes.
Our vision is to be a great place to learn, that's for the children, to work for staff, and to grow, and also to be a leader in technological impact in education.
We run the EYFS of the British curriculum. Now the EYFS of the British curriculum has 7 strands, basically communication and language, literacy, numeracy, expressive arts and design.
Riverside, we believe teachers play a very, very important role in the lives of children. They are supposed to be role models. Most children look up to their teachers.
As a school, we have lots of activities. Extracurricular activities are academic in nature, some are non-academic. So for the academic ones, we're having things like chess, we're having Scrabble, we have STEM. STEM is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And then, of course, we also have entrepreneurship. Then, of course, we have the non-academic clubs. Those are like drama, ballet, taekwondo. And so we, as a school, it's a policy that every child must be involved in one of each. So a child does one academic activity and one non-academic activity.
Upon my arrival at Riverside Schools, I have developed the skills which are communication, self-realization, IT skills.
Riverside is just the best. It's the best.
There's really no school you can compare Riverside with in this area.
Riverside has given itself a very good reputation around here. It's the best school in this area, this region. I have some people who come all the way from about 10 to 20 kilometers from here, just their children in the school.
It's a purpose-built school.
We had a plan from day one and they follow through with their plan.
My name is Oladunia Adewuyi. I'm the Director of Studies of Riverside Schools. About 28 years ago, when I was looking for a school for my first child, I naturally went back to my own primary school. Fortunately, I got there. I discovered that it was out of reach. I couldn't afford it. So that was when I discovered that there was actually a gap, that needed to be filled. I looked for other affordable schools, and I tried to source for another school, but everything I saw didn't quite meet up with what I was used to or experienced as a child. And at that point, I had to settle for a good school and had to fill in the gaps.
The first time I walked into Riverside was in September 2009. That was their first year of operation, and I believe I was the first parent to bring my children in, so yes, I got the title of Pioneer Parent. So I registered and enrolled 3 of my children then in 2009. And what really attracted me to the school, on the day we went to check out the school was my husband and I. We went together because we make that kind of decision together. And when we got into the school premises, even though they didn't have any students then, what we saw and the way we were, welcomed gave us that immediate impression that this is a school that was about to start out with a vision in mind. So we were attracted to the school, we were attracted to their vision, and we thought it would be a good place for our children, and we were right.
Our vision is to be a great place to learn, that's for the children, to work for staff, and to grow. It's not only children that learn and grow, our staff learn and they grow too.
If you want a place where you can work, learn and grow, come to Riverside. I have to give Riverside thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up for that. They are big on trainings. International, in-house, just name it. You can have trainings every week. We have facilitators from within and outside the country, even within the school. We have peer grooming in the school. So most of the trainings we have are geared towards bringing out the best, keeping abreast to what is happening. We also have international exchanges. Schools, we have classrooms from other countries linking with our children here. We do that. It's part of the reason why we got the International School Award from British Council back to back.
Development is what we crave for, and we're doing everything to get it right. It is part of a training that yearly you should on your own get some programs in your field that will enhance you. We have family seminars which is being stepped down probably by some staff or external to help the professional development. Beyond that, we also encourage our staff to be a member, an active member of the subject association at international level and the national level, so that can help them to perform well in their subject matter.
When we register children, we do an assessment. It's a formative assessment. So that helps us to know if there are gaps that need to be filled. That also is an information for the teacher. So you're taking a child into the classroom, you already know what you need to work on. So we offer intervention classes for them, extra lessons at no additional cost to the parents. Usually that takes place before school, if the child is a child that comes in early, because some children come in as early as 7. So they could do a 45 minutes or 40 minutes lesson with the child. It could be in the afternoon. Then apart from that, some learning difficulties are associated with the children's experiences. So the child may be going through something, you never know. So the counselor comes in to help. We've seen cases where some children, some have phobia for subjects, some might have been told that they are not good at certain things, so it affects learning. The counselor is able to unravel these mysteries and just see the child start to blossom. We also have children with really special needs, and such children we get specialist teachers who work with them in the school. They could come daily, it could be 2 or 3 times a week. So that is how we handle children who are struggling, and at the end of the day we make sure that no child is left behind. As a school, we have lots of activities. Some of the extracurricular activities are academic in nature, some are non-academic.
The sports activities as well as the clubs and co-curricular activities are actually quite above the standard. So you have the basketball field where you go during your sports time, usually on Wednesdays, or you could do acrobatics or calisthenics during the sports time. There's also chess. Now for the co-curricular, we have chess, we have instrumentals, we have press club, we have literary and debating club. So there's quite a variety of things for people to do depending on your individual strength.
Our extracurricular activities impact children in different ways. First, they tend to identify themselves. They identify what they are good at. It also helps them to build their self-confidence and also their social confidence. They are also able to identify their area of interest, so that way they begin to be more comfortable with some things to do. Also, it helps their academic performances. Imagine a child that is actually good in a particular activity. That particular child will take that same habit to class, and it will help that child's academic performance improve.
My son, personally, his personality is a lone ranger. He likes to do things on his own and stuff, but I strongly believe the extracurricular activities that he's been registered to he's made him more confident is fine with socializing. I could say he's become even a more dependable boy and stuff. And every time I go for his tea party, I ask the teacher and they tell me how helpful and cheerful he's become, or how better he keeps getting. One thing I know is he's also registered to Taekwondo. So, I mean, he comes home very playful, Taekwondo, and we do it together just for the fun of it. And
so the academic program at Riverside School, our curriculum is a blend of the British and Nigerian curriculum. So we have English language, which is basically the British curriculum. ICT is also the British curriculum, and science, we use the British curriculum. For mathematics, we have a blend of the British and Nigerian curriculum because we have some topics that are not in the British curriculum that are offered in the Nigerian curriculum. So that's why we have a blend. And we offer, our children are engaged in all subjects on the Nigerian curriculum, from social studies to history to French, Yoruba, all subjects. So at the end of the day, the children have a very strong foundation. That's what I like to say about it.
Here at Riverside School, we run the EYFS of the British curriculum. Now, the EYFS of the British curriculum has 7 strands, basically communication and language, literacy, numeracy, expressive arts and design, PSCD, which is personal, social, and emotional development, physical development, and understanding of the world. And that's for the British curriculum. Also, we run a blend of the Montessori curriculum, which has 5 different strands, namely math, language, cultural subjects, practical life, and sensorial. It is from all of this curriculum that we build our curriculum as a whole for the nursery section. And I can say for a fact that we have almost all the materials in our Montessori room. So for every of our teaching in the nursery section, we have materials replicating every of the teaching.
When we were moving here, we had a particular school I won't mention that we thought, or we thought our kid would be enrolled in, and so it was a case of are we going to do that, or we can find some other school that is on that same level with that school. And like I said, the distinguishing criteria would be the curriculum, which, like I said, is the British curriculum, and it's robust enough to educate your child.
And then there's some subjects that are taught at Riverside differently. For example, for us, mental maths is actually mental. So the children are involved in certain activities to sharpen their numeracy skills for mental maths, and they are tested every 2 weeks. And the tests are oral questions. So the teacher reads out the questions and the children, they write down the answers. So it really helps their numeracy. And of course, we have, under literacy, we have comprehension, we have creative writing. The children do a lot of spelling work, and this helps their reading too.
The curriculum is well structured. It's not. I've had my kids go to some schools, and I noticed the curriculum is not really in line with what is happening, as in at the present. So I think they follow the trend. The curriculum is following what is going on. So the children are enlightened, and then they know about what is going on in the country, in the world, and then even the science, because my daughter, she had issues with physics, the one in SS2, and within one term, there was a change, and she was so happy. And then the teachers are so encouraging, because no matter how small the improvement is, she felt very much encouraged after the first term. And the second term, it was like the result just, mommy, the result just changed, and all she needed was just that little push. So as much as the curriculum
is, sorry, I'm more of interpersonal relationships, well-rounded everything. I know everybody is like the books, the studies, the everything, but I really respect Riverside because the curriculum is there, they are teaching them, they are pushing those children, they are pushing them really hard to me, but it's subtle, the children don't feel it. They don't feel forced to do anything. They feel like they are being encouraged, you know, to do it. So you get more output from them because you are teaching them in a very comfortable environment. Even if we that were outside were seeing that you guys is a lot, but the children don't really see it because it's in a very comfortable environment and they've convinced them that you can do it. You can do it. So one way or the other, the kids to have believed, okay, I can do it, or at least I can try, and even if I don't do it and I don't get it at once, at least next time there is room for improvement. Failure is not sitting down. Failure is, okay, stand up and do more. That's what I noticed personally about my own daughter from Riverside.
We call ourselves a digital school. You go through the classrooms, you see that we have digital gadgets in virtually all the classrooms. We have interactive whiteboards and projectors in all the classrooms. And also, we recently started 3D learning by use of the virtual reality gadgets, which enhances learning. So the children learn verbally, they learn pictorially, they're able to watch videos and documentaries, and they're also able to see things in 3D form.
Riverside has integrated technology into the way they teach. The computer room is easily accessible to everybody in the school to make any research that they want to make. Access to technology has broadened my knowledge on various topics through research on Google. I've been able to connect with other learners across the world through apps and websites, and that has allowed me to have a deeper understanding of topics. I've been able to increase my creativity, and I've also been able to learn concepts on my own.
In technology, we've used VR, that's virtual reality. It's a goggle we wear. When we wear it, it's as if we are inside it.
We have different learning style here. So we identify those learning style from planning stage. From our planning, we identify the visual learner, the auditory, the kinesthetics, which is also called the tactile. And from our planning stage, we put those learners into our planning. So when we are planning our lessons, we have different activities for those learners. In a way, we project. Example is when a particular child that is a visual learner, we definitely have a video that would help that child learn better. A kinesthetic learner, we have different manipulative and Montessori activity that child can work with. An auditory learner will learn faster with song and whatever they hear. So all learners are covered for in all areas.
I'm a visual learner myself, and then I realized that some schools don't know the type of learner, that the child is, and they don't bother to check. But as a visual learner myself, and I noticed my first daughter too is also a visual learner, I was very happy when I saw the boards, because if I'm not in class, probability that I'm going to understand that topic is it's not like I won't understand, but it's going to take me a while. But if I'm there and it's interactive and then there's visuals, it does me better. And then my daughter is into cooking, and I told them first that okay, she's going to cook because that's her career path that she wants to take for now. And they said, oh, we have a good food and nutrition facility. Oh, wow, nice. They took me there. It was nice. And I said, okay, they've shown me. Are they really going to use it? We've been cooking. Yeah. We've been buying zobo, buying chicken, buying everything. Mommy, we are cooking next week. We are cooking fried rice. We are cooking this.
And they're excited.
And they're excited. They're really excited about it. And then the chemistry too, she was quite excited about it. They could do their practicals. They said there's a pond. I've not seen it, with the fishes.
It's at the back, the tank.
Yeah, so yeah, they're really enjoying it. I think it's a wholesome experience. they're really enjoying it.
COVID-19 was a very special period for everyone worldwide, not just in Nigeria. It was also a very, very challenging period for schools. Riverside actually went digital in 2014. We've been working with technology for a while. Lesson plans are all typed, they are submitted online. So when we had to go shut down in 2020, we were about to write the school exam, the end of term exam. But we couldn't do that because we shut down abruptly. But we did that online. We were able to do the exams online. These exams were timed. At first, parents were a bit skeptical, but when we did it, they were so happy because at least we were able to give the children some form of closure for second term. And thereafter, we moved on to the Google Classroom. We started having lessons in the Google Classroom every day. And I would like to say that at the end of the day, parents were a bit skeptical at first because it actually required them to be available all the time because of safety. They didn't want their children to go online alone. But because we had the Google Classroom and we're also having Zoom lessons, the children were able to see their classmates. So after a while, parents were really happy with it. So the children didn't really lose much during that period. So I would say technology really helped us, and the fact that we had always been a digital school, and so we were prepared for that. That was how it was handled. And of course, by the time everybody came back, we also came back to school and we continued where we had left off. Some children didn't come back. The parents were still skeptical about the infection, about the virus, you know. And then so they continued online with us. For discipline and behavior, discipline is very, very important because if you are not disciplined, you can't really make anything out of life. So the children have handbooks. For example, in the college, the children have a guide, a behavioral guide. The rules and regulations are stated in black and white because of their age. And there are also sanctions for anything, any contravention. Aside from that, we also have the anti-bullying policy that everybody is aware of. Bullying is a no-no for us as a school, and they're all aware of that. We have disciplinary committees that handle children that sit on issues of discipline. When there's an issue of discipline, if it cannot be handled by maybe the class teacher or the officer in charge of discipline, it is referred to the committee, and the committee handles such matters using our handbooks.
In all our classes, we have class rules. The children make the class rules with us, and they also give us possible punishments that they would participate in if they violate the class rules. So when we are giving them such punishment, they don't say, oh, where is this coming from?
For staff, behavior is not just for children. Staff are also concerned, and we have a handbook that details what is expected of staff. So it shows what they should expect from the school and what we expect from them in terms of behavior. So they know what to expect. They have their job descriptions and they have their key result areas. And all these are tied to the appraisals, which is done twice a year.
As much as I feel the school gives the space for the teachers to be comfortable, I feel they keep them in check. And it's in this our world, it gives me a sense of security, that because I have girls, 3 girls, so it gives me a sense of security. Okay, my girls are safe in the school, because I know that from time to time the teachers are under review.
For Riverside School, the students student-teacher ratio is one of the best. Currently, I think it's an average of 15 to 20 students to a teacher, and each teacher has an assistant. The students are doing very well. I still have a child there, and he's always happy. So when that ratio is not overwhelming, I mean the students are not too many for the teacher, they are able to have a one-on-one relationship with their students. You will know from the expression that your child brings home that he is actually happy with what he's getting in school, he's not frustrated, he's not unhappy. So I think it's one of the best ratios that I have seen around.
That's also very fair, if you ask me. I mean, it's supposed to be a concern. Nobody wants to put their kid in a class where there are lots of kids and just one or two teachers who wouldn't be able to look out for them as much as you would want to. But every time like I said, every time I've come to his class, I see the size of the class, and I think it's fair. It's just, there's nothing to be worried about. The number is quite good.
Safety is a very important thing for us as a school, because we have one of our core values is to care for the children, and they need to feel they need to be safe. One thing we have for us at Riverside is we have CCTV covering the whole school grounds. There's no way a child visits in this school that you do not have cameras. We have in all the classrooms, we have in all the special rooms, we have in the playground, the car park, the bus terminal, everywhere is covered. We have a security man who monitors it 24/7. So that's one thing for us. Apart from that, we have the child protection policy that everybody is aware of. It's very important to us. Any staff who is engaged in this school, the policy is explained to the teacher, whether the teacher, a caregiver, any administrative staff. We explain the policy to them and they sign off. They need to sign off that they understand the policy, because we need to care for the children. It's very important to us. We have an anti-bullying policy which is available to everyone. It's on the website. Every single staff is aware of our policy. We do not joke with bullying. And then apart from that, we have a bus terminal. So children who go on the bus, they don't have any business with parents who come in to pick their children. So the buses come in, they pass through the terminal, and they go straight to their classrooms. They don't have any business with the front office or any other parent. That's an additional security thing that we have. We also do not take visitors at certain times. We do not take visitors until 10 a.m. and that stops by 1 o'clock because the children close at 1:30. So once the school closes, we do not take visitors again into the school.
There's never been a time where anybody has been able to stroll in conveniently and out conveniently without being vetted by the security, which is commendable. I have noticed that I don't think they've actually lost focus in ensuring that they check with everybody that comes in where the person is going. There's a check-in book and check-out book that they log in. I don't think anybody has, reported any case of, insecurity issues as regards their wards. So, yeah.
A lot of times when you see schools that are located right on the road, it gives you a lot of concern. But, I see that, there's a high fence, there's a gate there, and there's security there. There are several points that the children need to get to before they can, go out on the road. So it's that was a very good sign that the children will be in. There's several gates. I mean, you can't just wander and say before you get to the reception, they'll be asking you, where are you going? Even during when you come and pick them at closing time. I see any child that wanders into the reception, they say, where are you going? Your bus is not ready or your parents are not here, so they send them back. So it's really good. And then the car park too, you see a lot of security people and teachers out when you want to drop your kids in the morning. So it's really, there's someone that comes right up to the door to ensure that, you know, once the child comes out of the car, they're taking them right up to the gated area, you know, to go into the school. During the COVID period too, it was like that, to ensure that they wash their hands, they take their temperature, they put their sanitizers on and all that. So it was really, really great.
The proprietress is someone that if you notice anything, because you can never get it all right at once, but if you notice something and you feel like this is going to improve in any aspect of the school, you approach her, she will, she likes constructive feedbacks that helps them to grow.
For me, the school is quite secure. Almost every day I find a security personnel at the gate at the secondary school, and I'm quite comfortable with that. School gate always locked, if not maybe 95% locked most of the time, but usually is always 100% locked. So I find it also quite safe. And internally, I've checked the internal arrangement of the school. The construction is also safe. I've checked the window placing, the door, quite safe also. So I feel safe. For my children to be safe, I feel they are safe.
So a lot of things set us apart. The ambience, so it's very welcoming. The facilities that you have within the school. It's a purpose-built school. It's very airy. The classrooms are very airy and they're quite spacious. Then our facilities, we have lots of washrooms for the children to use. Aside from that, the classrooms, like I said earlier, we have digital classrooms. That sets us apart. And the playground is quite wide. This is something that's rare to find, having a school that has this amount of space for the children to play and exercise themselves. Our car park too is quite enormous. And we even have a bus terminal. At the bus terminal, the children are able to go into the buses. They don't have any interaction with visitors. They don't have any interaction with parents. They have a separate entrance for children that are on the bus, which is different from the children that their parents come to pick up. So it makes this place quite safe.
Many schools, they start out with the intention of just making money. But at that time, this area was like a virgin land, was fairly new. Not many people were living around here. So for a school to have invested so much at that time, they knew where they were going to, and they started out with the best in mind. Because when we walked into the reception, if you get into the reception right now, that reception hasn't changed from day one. Maybe the furniture and movable assets, but the architecture, structure, everything was exactly the way we saw it then. And then you have a school that started with 5 classrooms and a large reception like that, you know that they have a plan in mind. And that immediately gave us the impression that we had not met the owner then. But when you see someone's work, you don't really have to meet the person. You know the type of person behind the plan. My first impression about Riverside when I got in there was that it was a school that had a vision. We had a plan from day one and they followed through with their plan. This purpose-built school, not just converted. Most schools are like residential converted to school, but this one, they had it in mind that the area was for a school, was planned as a school, and the architecture from day one was that of a school environment. And so it makes it, gives it an advantage because it gives the children room to express themselves. They have a playground, they have a well-equipped hall, even though they're still thinking of a bigger one in future. So they still have area where they will improve on their facility, but where they are right now, they're better than most in terms of facility.
So I've been in that class just once during the Saturday lesson. So I'm not sure that's the regular setting because it's extracurricular. It was organized for the GS3 that are preparing for junior work. And what struck me about the class is first, because I'm a pharmacist, is the lighting. They really need like lights. The windows are big, the lighting is okay. That was the first thing I noticed. That okay, so for a child that has like sight issues, at least you're helping in that sense, and then it's well ventilated. Those are things I look out for when I go to schools, because I believe schools should be about everything, not just about the books and academics. And then I think the arrangement is okay. For me, it's fine, because we've also sat down there to do PTA and we've done some meetings there. I feel it's okay, it's well ventilated, it's well lit, and yeah, it's fine.
I like the fact that the school is clean, interestingly. I have OCD a little bit, so it's okay for me to find out that the school is clean and the toilet is actually clean. From the school they were coming up from before, they used to complain a lot about the toilet. Oh, the toilet is dirty, the cleaners didn't come to clean early. To be sincere, I never heard that once from them since they started the school. And I actually look out to hear, like I ask them in particular, but I don't ask about it. I just say, how far? Are you comfortable? Are you? And they never, till today, mention anything about the toilet. And they always mention before. So I'm really, really impressed.
Well, the location of Riverside is also top-notch, because you would have seen that it's easily accessible to those within the estate and those outside the estate. Even from the express, you can see it is very visible. And that gives it an advantage over other schools.
Yes, so it was a major factor when we picked the school. So it's easy for me. On my way out, I drop them off. On my way in, I pick them up. It's right there in like the center, where it's well positioned.
Riverside has a unique location that gives it prominence and visibility in its vicinity.
Our recruitment process, it can be very tedious because teaching and learning is basically what we do, and the most vital resource of any school are the teachers. So we need to get that right. We need to have teachers who are dedicated, who are passionate about what they do, who will go the extra mile for the children, who will ensure that no child is left behind, because as a school, we have that as a policy. No child is left behind. We do not wait for parents to come in and tell us, oh, give us feedback about their children maybe not doing well. We always notice that before they come. So before they are asking us, we're already telling them what we've noticed. So we like to engage people who are passionate about what they do. So the process of recruitment it's a very tough one, and thereafter we're also particular about having background checks, and also screening staff is very important. When you work with children, you need to be careful about the kind of people that you expose them to. So these are things that set us apart from other schools, and that's what drives us, and that is why we've been able to achieve so much in such a short time.
Riverside, we believe teachers play a very, very important role in the lives of children. They are supposed to be role models. Most children look up to their teachers. You hear parents coming up to tell you, my teacher said I should do it this way. I was trying to tell the child to do it that way. He said, no, my teacher said no, I must do it this way. So we need to model what we want the children to see. We want the children to show integrity, to be of good behavior. So we need to model all of these things and let the children learn from us. You can't tell the children, do this. They watch what you do. They don't listen to what you say. So at Riverside, we take that into consideration and we try to model the traits we want our children to exhibit.
I've noticed that there's a consistency of, I think the word is empathy, that resonates with the teachers. You know, I don't know if it's the school that has a particular way of recruiting them, but I think the quality of the teachers are always the same. Now, what I mean by this is, like I said, the teachers that my kid, that taught my kid in reception, Miss Victor, I didn't catch this last name. There are two Victorias. They were both awesome in their ways. You know, it was never a case of we preferred this one to this one. You know, you could see the commitment and the passion they always exhibit in teaching the kids. And even when my kid moved to Mrs. Ashibogu, it was the same, you know, and then Miss Alake, and now he's currently with Mrs. Dembo, amazing woman, you know. So the front desk, professional. I mean, they've never been rude to me, to anybody around me. What other department? Accounting, you know, helpful. The drivers, cheerful. Who else do I deal with? So, like I said, every time that I've had reason to come to the school, maybe for drop-off or the Christmas carol or anything, we've not had reason to deal with an unruly staff. So yes, the quality of the staff that Riverside has is quite good. Like I said, the consistency is amazing. I mean, there should be a bad egg, but I haven't found a bad egg if I'm relating it to other organizations. But so far, so good, really. They're very respectful and diligent, professional. So, yes.
Talking about compassion and care, which is one of our core values, here at Riverside School, we have a policy. If a child does not come into school on a day, you call that particular child. By the second day, you're visiting that child. That is our policy. So everybody at Riverside School, we have a buy-in of everybody in this policy. From the very first one, which is personal leadership, to professional development, every critical thinking, candor, care and compassion, responsibility, everybody and integrity, we have a buy-in. So at the beginning of every term, with the culture team, we organize a training for all our staffs. What do? We tend to remind them of our culture. Should in case they have forgotten, we reiterate and keep bringing it back. So everybody has a buy-in. At Riverside School, there's a way we behave. We have our ways of doing things. So nobody, if you call yourself a staff of Riverside, you shouldn't go outside of that culture.
About the teachers, right from the director of studies, Mrs. Adewi, she's hands-on. She's great. She doesn't joke with the children. She knows almost all the children by name, even to the tiniest one. And I wonder how she does it. It means it's a calling, is what she was born to do. And even right from the reception, the teachers are just wonderful. They're really doing a great job.
We have a policy of continuous improvement, and continuous improvement not just for the children, but also for the teachers and other staff. Because ultimately, if the teachers don't improve, they cannot really help the children.
And from my experience, Riverside is the staff, the school is welcoming. It's a school that you have a suggestion, you can actually approach somebody, and even as a parent, you can approach anybody in the school and no, we'll take it up, and they will take it up. No, they don't just say that. When you say we take it up, then you now start hearing it. We spoke to the madam in primary school, we spoke to the school bus person. They will actually take it up if they say they're going to do something, and that's something that impresses me a lot.
Okay, we practically relate well with everyone in the school in particular. Nobody in particular, from the director of studies to the vice principal to everyone. We call them every time and they practically pick if you have any reason to call. Maybe we are running late or we want to ask some questions, and they relate with us as it is, as it is. We pour out our mind, and like she once said, we will look into it, and it's actually been looked into. So for us, we are impressed. Sometimes if you feel worried, we tell them, and they sort out the way. So we talk to virtually everyone. The receptionist at the door, we call her, and she's like, no problem, and it's sorted. And it's easy for me like that. Once I call, there was a time I called the receptionist, she wasn't picking. I called the vice principal, he told me he was teaching. I called the accountant, please can I reach the vice principal? Oh, okay, hold on. Like they are like always willing to help out, and I think we are impressed. And the teaching the children, like I also know, is they want to learn under them also. They look forward to learning with their teachers. So I'm impressed.
Somebody that stands out for me is the vice principal in secondary, because he has more relationship with them. But when you raise an issue with him, what I noticed and what impressed me is that I get home and I ask my daughter, and she tells me, she had already spoken to him about it. So before he even comes to me, they've already had a conversation, and he's like, Ma, I already spoke to her. We've already said we'll sort it out, but thank you for bringing it up again. Or if it's something he did not know, you can see it in his countenance that, why didn't she come to meet me? Why didn't you come to meet me? And I'll sort it out. I didn't know, I'll sort it out. And it's not like Nigerian banks, 5 working days. Within 24 hours, you are just seeing, Mommy, they've done it.
There's really no school you can compare Riverside with in this area. We should be looking at Riverside and other schools in the whole of Lagos or even Ogun State.
Around this environment, we have imitators, not competitors. Competitors are people doing the same thing like you that you can learn from, while imitators are people that tend to copy what you do and then to put it their way.
Riverside has given itself a very good reputation around here. It's the best school in this area, this region. I have some people who come all the way from about 10 to 20 kilometers from here just to have their students and their children in the school. That's how good Riverside is, at least among the schools within Isheri North, Mowe, Ibafon. Riverside stands out. It's been awarded by the British Council, and it's a recognized school. It's an internationally recognized school. There's no doubt in anybody's mind around here that Riverside is the best school.
I know there are quite a lot of schools around, but Riverside is special, unique and different. So that's why I'm here as of now.
Riverside is just the best. It's the best. Not because I'm here, because it's the best. For every teacher that has passed through Riverside or is still with Riverside, they will tell you Riverside is the best. It's the best thing that can happen to any teacher. If you want to grow, there is career path. You can start up as a teaching assistant at Riverside and you move up. You are encouraged to go to school. You are encouraged to take professional examinations. You are encouraged to take examinations that will move you. There is a career path. There are some schools you go and you go in as a teacher and you stay there donkey years, you end up as a teacher. But Riverside is not the same. I started off as a teacher and I'm the head of primary today. So there is always a step, there is always somewhere to go. You can't come into Riverside and remain the same. You can't.
To be honest, what we're getting is more than what we have paid for. The quality provided, the quality of education, the quality of the curriculum, even the things that they bring to the table in terms of social and others. The amount is not on the high side. It's affordable, it's okay. The school has done a lot for the existing parents, and it's a very compassionate school. I can't tell you everything they've done, but if you are partnering with Riverside as a parent, you don't need to worry too much. You know, they've got your back and you've got their back. They know what it is to be in partnership, and that's one of the best qualities that I would give to Riverside Montessori School. It's a school with a heart. That's how I'll put it.
It's fair. Let me put it that way. It's a fair ask for whatever has been done. You put people in charge of your children. You have to pay for it. They teach. The teachers really try, especially from the reception to nursery 2. It's a lot. Because I always ask my boy, how does your teacher cook? I can't do this well. It's like, I say, I can't do it. How does your teacher cope? You know, so I think it's a fair ask. You know, some schools are lower, but hey, you can't eat your cake and have it.
So if I get you right, we're saying, is the amount I'm paying for the school fees, is it worth it? Am I getting value for my money? Okay, so you really twisted the story. But I'll answer yes. The answer is I'm getting maximum value, keyword maximum value for my money. I saw the development of my kid from the point he got into school. He was not even fully potty trained, but the teacher at that time told us, no problem, we can handle that. That's one. And he wasn't speaking fully. He could barely string a sentence of words. And I mean, like I said, all of this, I could see the geometric progression in the development. It's astronomical, you know. And one thing I must commend the school for, in as much as I know that we are collaborating together. When I say that, I mean the school and the parents. You know, we try to always reach out and ask, what do we need to do to help you, you know, just so this child gets the best. I also must not take away their credit from them. And when I say that, I mean there's a program that I don't know how long it's been running, but my son was part of it. They call it intervention class. Apparently Riverside has a standard. So I think about the time my son was in reception about going into nursery, or I think nursery into grade 1, he had not met the standard, and they had to do extra lessons for a couple of them when they were on break. You know, that's what they call it, intervention classes. And ideally, I would have expected the school to charge me for it. It wouldn't be a problem, because I mean it's extra lesson and stuff, but it was free of charge. And you could see that it's a commitment on the part of the school to ensure that no child is left out, and you know, everybody comes out in flying colors. I would tell you that, you know, my kid, like I said earlier, the development is amazing. You know, when you see a child who could barely speak to being very, very, you know, talkative and, you know, saying the right things, it's amazing.
School has been very good to us. They give us the leverage of, you know, taking our time sometimes, and we don't. But for me, I'm getting the service of what I'm paying for. That's what I can say. My children are happy. That's for me. Once they're happy, then I can encourage every other person. My children are happy here, and I'm paying, they're happy. So you can pay and they will also be happy. So pay for what you get and get what to pay for.